it's great to see how Joyn is innovating and taking curation to the next level. And the key part that I think that I love about it is that, one part that I try to do, at least within my curations, is find the narrative, find the story. And then, often you just have a list of pieces that you put in there, and there's very little room to tell story. And so I think that, that aspect of it has been pretty cool to see. It takes a lot of the things that are out there and combines into one, and you can list it on the same platform, which I think is nice to provide that continuity from, accepting sort of pieces through an open call, to talking about them, to eventually listing them.
It's really cool that others can participate, and by the stuff that we do with the stories, with composer, with the galleries, is basically to encourage others to be motivated as much as possible to actually go and do something either with us or on their own, but just bring more art into this world. And we're here for it.
What this has done is it allows us, we're a small team building a product like creator tools. So having a partner like Joyn that has created an easy, no code, simple way, whether you're an artist, curator, a platform, being able to have a place for our creations to live and be showcased and tell the story of I think that's the biggest thing. Why does art ever sell or resonate with somebody? And you guys did a good job of making it super easy for us to plug in, integrate our contracts.
We're here. We're back live on YouTube and X. I feel like time is flying.
It's crazy.
The last time you saw us, it was Halloween. We were dressed up, having lots of fun with everybody watching us live. And we're about to be in the Thanksgiving week, and we're here. Luckily, still here, enjoying everybody, seeing everybody kind of pull up. And on that note, our other co-host, Andrea, unfortunately is sick. So send her your best wishes. We hope she gets well. She is, of course, watching us live on YouTube and X. So make sure you leave those comments. Make sure you show her some love. But in her place, we got a special guest. We have Alexandra Art, lead partnerships at Joyn. Hello, say hello to the people.
Hi guys. Definitely behind my keyboard today to fill in. How are you doing?
For sure. We're all good. I think definitely a long time coming. We've had Evan, we've had Michael from the Joyn team, and now Alex makes her live stream debut with us today. So some fantastic stuff. We're gonna get into some beautiful showcases. Dare to Dream, pop culture nostalgia, We have Aaron Vick, who's going to be talking about Artistic Odyssey and some cool stuff there, and the artists that he's working with and composing stuff on Joyn. So really fantastic stuff. And anything for the people, guys, goes.
I'm just stoked to go through it all. There's some great work happening right now, and the showcase stuff is just like blowing up. Like I keep seeing people posting new things and even just like minting new work on Joyn and everything. And I love seeing how it's just sort of facilitating people to create more stuff. Like that's sort of what it's all about, you know? So yeah, I'm really stoked to go through it. I've got some favorites. I know we've been sort of talking about it here and there, but yeah, there's an amazing set of work to go through today. That's for sure.
And I'm excited that we have some of the people behind these showcases with us today. For those of you that are checking out Joyn, you see some of the showcases come up. We have more and more examples of creative use cases of artists having control to curate the narrative in their own way, on their own terms. And behind the scenes, me and the team are working hard individually to get everyone onboarded and to share the best practices. So let's run through some of these today.
For sure. And what better way than to dare to dream, right? Lume, how are you, sir? Say hello to the people. They're daring to dream. Your showcase on Joyn Live.
How is it going, guys? Thanks for having me, and thank you for an incredible platform to showcase work.
Great to have you. It has been a story sort of like in the making, where we started off with just like conceptualization of your ideas, and you've made such a fantastic and aesthetically pleasing look. And I think this is the perfect time to maybe hear a bit more about your work and the story behind it and the process sort of you chose for this collection.
Yeah, for sure. So you guys sort of reached out and, you know, let me know about the opportunity with the showcases and, you know, why Joyn has such a feature. And instantly it just struck out of me that, you know, there's not many platforms out there that sort of give artists that ability to not only showcase their work in a aesthetic, you know, an aesthetically pleasing way, but also it's such an easy way, you know, like the setup of the pages and the options that you've got to put text in, your own images, as well as minting the artwork on Joyn. It was just great, you know. So I was super happy to proceed with creating the showcase, and I'm glad that you enjoy the aesthetic behind it. I think it's really cool.
And sort of like, what is the story Dare to Dream? Like, are these fictional realities from your imagination? What's the process with the work as well?
Yeah, so the process behind the work is completely AI focused, using machine learning, creating my own models and things like this. But which started earlier on in the year and sort of developed into, is constantly developing like most AI art. But it was sort of the idea behind the showcase was more of this sort of middle ground. I find that with AI art and some of the, you know, other artists and creators that use AI, there's this sort of balance of people really trying to create real looking things, and you've seen with the, you know, the how AI is getting better and better every day, is that it's more about creating a great image. And I think I sort of focus more on getting like simplicity and something that is kind of hard for the AI to create, because it's not an image with sharp edges. It's not anything in particular, you know. So I like to challenge myself and the models that I've created to sort of get this aesthetic out that isn't just, you know, a man, say, holding a spoon. It's very literal, you know. So the showcase Dare to Dream is more based around liminal spaces and sort of this idea of what the AI is going through when it's trying to create these things. Is like, you know, everything starts with a seed, and how does it create this sort of landscape in its own mind of, you know, where does the character go, where does the subject go that you put into your prompts and things like this. So it was almost a middle ground between dreams and reality, but also again really pushing the AI to create an output that when you look at it is sort of, what is that, you know, with obviously a bit subject as well.
That's a wonderful storytelling element. I know a lot of people are looking at how well the design aligns with the pieces itself. And especially, I love the rotating title of why, when, Lume at the bottom. Did you create these yourself?
Yeah, and I was super happy that I could put GIFs in, you know. That was something that I wasn't quite sure whether you could, because the titles at the top have also got like a rotating color gradient on them, kind of subtle to see, but that's also something that I was like super stoked with when it came to creating the page.
So some pro tips. Can we ask, what did you use to create these?
I just used Photoshop, created 4 different images, and then just put them into a GIF essentially where they flick through.
That is so straightforward and simple. How did I not think of that? Thanks for sharing these.
So I've also realized you
No
have
problem.
some collectors already from the Dare to Dream collection. And here I'm looking at the deluxe key. How about a little alpha here for people who end up collecting a piece from Dare to Dream?
Yeah, for sure. So the Lux key is something that I've been doing sort of since the beginning of minting. I went through a stage of maybe a month where I was just minting artwork for free essentially and giving it to people that follow me and share my work, and you know, just online supporters of my work in general. So when I started to actually sell work for ETH, I figured that, you know, I still carry on that sort of motive and still give away something for free for supporters, but something a little bit extra for supporters who've, you know, gone out of the way to collect my work. So as you can see there, there's 62 editions. So there's 62 holders of the Lux key at the moment. And the 2 people who have purchased the pieces from the collection will also get sent these keys. These keys basically represent again a token of that if you have this in your wallet, you are a Lume collector, and later down the line I'll be doing sort of burn the key for different editions. So not only just like burn 1 key, but if you've got, I know there's a guy, I think he's got like maybe 6 of these keys, so I'll be you know, building some mechanics that allow my collectors to sort of gain extra 1-of-1s and potentially some physical pieces and things like this as well.
That's amazing. I love one, just sort of the integration of working with people in that way, but also just the overall with the series and the collection itself. It's very unique, and I think it definitely stands out with your kind of visual brand and the way you put yourself out there. But I love how, you know, it's very unique and like you're owning that process. And I think that to me, just from like the art side of it, really stands out, and it's very obvious that that's the case here. And I think it's definitely something that kind of solidifies the visual aesthetic into a position of ownership for yourself, and it shines here in all colors. So
thank you very much. I think, you know, when I set out and started to build my own AI models and create the artwork, it's, you know, something that I'm sure you, Black, being a, you know, an AI god yourself, also experiences, is that, you know, you can scroll through X and, you know, a lot of people create very similar outputs, and you see sort of one aesthetic take off a little bit, and then some people find out the prompts and things like this. And I think for me, that's, you know, coming from the art world previously, it's also something that I wanted to sort of escape from, is just create something that is mine, is fun for me to create, and also something that you know, with it being my model, would not only kind of be hard to replicate, but also to sort of own that brand. Like you say, is that is when you see this artwork, you instantly think of me. So it just makes it a lot more fun for me to, you know, reward my collectors and get on this AI journey.
yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to see a lot more of that in the future and in the near future, especially like in the AI space, of people kind of owning their process a little bit more. And I do, you know, I think people have to learn, when they start using these tools, and you end up having like a lot of similar looking things because of that, because they're pulling from different places or sharing prompts or whatever. But I think the true artists in the space are the ones who are owning that process and really putting something out there that is not only unique in process, but also represents them and what it is they want to express and their level of execution and all of that. I think you've done a magnificent job doing exactly that with this series, for sure.
Thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate it.
Do you have a bit of a background in graphic design? Because I think you own the brand really well.
Yeah, of course. I've been a designer for maybe 12 years, 13 years. And this is the questions that you asked me backstage, Alexandra, is sort of, these. I want this to be a journey that is completely personable. Do you know what I mean? It's not mixed in with, I can bring my talents to the table. I can also create something that is very me and not forced into any previous work that I've done and things like this. So it's, I do have a background in graphic designer.
Yeah, and it's something I think we can learn from each other. Like, I personally loved being at the intersection of curation, art production, business, and then you can learn from the different pain points, but also you can learn from the strengths. And when you bring them all together at the same table, you create consistency and a very strong visual aesthetic that people can relate to and be like, yes, I recognize this piece, I know this piece. And I'm really looking forward to how you continue your like visual, but also the narrative and the storytelling behind the collection, and how you continue with the keys and how it evolves. Are there any plans for sort of like for the next steps?
Yeah, for sure. You're in the group chat that we have, and as you saw, I mentioned about going back to Joyn over the next couple of weeks, depending on how close we get to the end of the year. Time is absolutely flying, but again, sort of the basis behind Lume and is not only to create my own personal artwork, but it's also to drive community and support and things like this. So I've seen a lot of support with this collection and with my artwork in general. So I would love to come back to Joyn and do a showcase of other people's art, like sort of an open call, but also just sort of go through and pick artists that are also doing amazing things and show some light on those guys as well. So that I would love to do that before the end of the year. But again, we are getting pretty close towards Christmas, and I know how busy things get.
And that's fine. I think I don't know how much I'm allowed to spill the beans, but January is a very big month for us. So we can aim for January as well, more soon. But as an artist, I would feel very safe in your hands to curate a collection. So I do look forward to the concept ideas that you'll be having in the coming weeks.
Thank you very much. Can we get some alpha on January?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll chat in DMs.
Maybe Santa Claus. Maybe Santa Claus will bring some. Maybe good old Saint Nick will drop something for us to share along. But yeah, we're keeping that tight. Lume, before you go, where can the people find you?
On X or Twitter, whichever one you want to call it. It's OXLume, and that's pretty much it, really. Find me on Joyn. I'm not sure what my profile is. I think it's exactly the same. Yeah, my Joyn profile is OXLume. I am on Instagram, but I don't really post too much. But that's about it. Keep it simple, and people can find you, I guess.
For sure. Lume, Dare to Dream, live on Joyn. Link is in the X and YouTube. And, we appreciate Lume stopping by and chatting with us.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you very much. I love all Joyn community. I love the people watching us live on X and YouTube. That was Dare to Dream. And again, the links are in the comment section on YouTube. They're also in the comment section on X. So feel free to pick up a piece. If you pick up a piece, you get the Lex key. The same way we held off Alpha. Lume held off alpha for the Lume key, but the Lux key. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff planned for that, and the holders and buyers be prepared because utility is big for sure. And I think another thing to note there, I think we're seeing the power of solo showcases really shine lately, and the coherence and keeping like a certain theme throughout the whole showcase, tying it together, just makes it look really really strong. And Dare to Dream is again another perfect example of just the gradient colors, all the tooling that Composer offers for the creators to just like put in on and off chain content, and it really came together really beautifully. Again, on lovers of dark mode, that the gradient just pops
Yeah.
on the dark
I
background.
love that,
So
just like
really
the
cool stuff.
motion of the colors changing and the text is like such a simple but like such like a beautiful little like cherry on top, you know. I love that.
Yeah.
100%. So I think we have one more live guest, and I think that'll be the time that we have with Alex. So we're going to make sure that she gets to say her goodbyes. But next up, we have Aaron Vick. He's going to talk to us about Lindsay Koska's artistic odyssey. It's a really cool story here on Joyn. He's going to talk more about the other stuff that he has planned to launch on Joyn using Composer. So in a second, we'll have Aaron up with us, and we'll see you in a bit. Aaron, how are you?
Hey, friends. Doing great.
Good
It's
to
good
see
to have
you.
you.
Yeah, you
For
too.
sure. Good to have you on. So
Exciting
let's
times.
for 100%. Let's chat. I know you've been really really busy working closely with Alex and the partnership team and Joyn in general. A lot of fantastic content, and you've been slowly dripping releasing out some stuff, especially this one that we're going to showcase and talk about a little bit about today, Artistic Odyssey from Lindsay Kokoska's exploring the ethereal realm. Some really cool stuff here.
Thanks. Yeah, exciting stuff. Joyn's coming out with some really cool tools. So it's definitely enabling not just creators, but people who are writers like me that like to storytell sometimes more so than use pictures, even though I love all mediums. It's a great way to combine the stories that people like Lindsay can tell through her art. And even though it moves, it still doesn't really talk in words. And so I try to put a little bit of narrative behind some of the pieces that she's come out with in a couple of collections over the last 2 years, just to tie in all the cosmic amazingness that she's been able to create. And it was really my first test, if you will, with the new Joyn platform. And I think I just resonate with everybody else says. It's really so easy to just get in and start writing if that's what you want to do. And I was really ecstatic about that because there wasn't a great place for real deep dive narratives into art. So this is it's an amazing spot and place for Joyn to fill that void for us.
Yeah, and I think we had like sort of a indirect collaboration when Aaron was curating for a Vegas show earlier this year, and I just I saw how connected and passionate he is about the community, so it felt like a natural continuation of our first introduction. And the way it started was like, hey, here are the Composer tools. This is what you can do. Let's chat in a week and see, if it sticks, if you even find it useful. And then a week later, next thing we know, it's like an array of stories and showcases and questions and feedback. And it's just, we realized we need to have these conversations more often. And so this is what actually brought us here today as well. It's this open conversation about who are the artists that are being showcased. Why did you pick this artist to be your first one? And I think that's like you kind of at the beginning started talking about it, but then we segued into Joyn. So maybe just taking a step back, we'll talk about Joyn, but let's talk about her work and
Sure.
why it's so special. And it was the inaugural sort of piece you did on Joyn.
Yeah, that's a great place to start. You know, Lindsay's an amazing artist. She is part of our Web3 community, and she had released what I thought was really a lot of connected pieces, even though she had rolled them out in different collections across different platforms. And I called her one night and I said, Lindsay, it's so cohesive. I think there should be a place to showcase this. And that was right after getting access to Joyn. And so I knew she would at least entertain my craziness about how I wanted to present the material. And I think it just looks so good on the black background, her art. And yeah, I love the way that her art flows. She's had some really great presentations of the art. So I really wanted to showcase that, not just her art, but also where her art was shown. All right. She'd been in multiple galleries in big presentations, not just on 70-inch TVs. And so I wanted people to really get a feel for how big this art could be. And it moves, right? It lives. And so I really think that telling just, behind the scenes, it's so important. And it does let me transition to Joyn, because I think no matter if it's Lindsay or anybody else that I'm working on, that we can continue to roll out and have these stories about their pieces and their collections, is that this platform for Joyn has allowed us as humans to put more of our humanity out there about the things we're doing. And for me as a futurist, I think we are moving very fast to a digital age where we don't fully understand how to migrate our humanity on chain or even online. And so I think eventually, as robots and AI allows us to harness things and even allows them to do things for us, at the end of the day, it's the humanity and the stories that are left. So we have to have a place to park that. And I think that Joyn's tapped into that, and I think it's amazing. So I was glad to be a part of it.
Migrating humanity online. Some powerful words to describe, but it is true. You don't have to be an artist or a curator. You don't have to have a label if you want to express yourself. I had this thought this morning, actually. I'm like, do you wake up one day and say, okay, I'm an artist? No. Like, you have this sometimes burning self-expression, and the canons of the traditionalism say you have to go starve to death to become an artist. Like, no, like,
Right.
Everyone can be an artist. It doesn't mean everyone has to be in a museum, but it's about a sort of like a therapeutic journey almost for you to express yourself. And not everyone is really good at maybe narrative or storytelling, and for them using images and other mediums helps them express and sort of make sense of the world. So coming back to you, I love that you are finding different ways of that self-expression, because we know your background's also like in tech and other businesses. And so here it's sort of like a creative outlet for that intersection. My two cents.
No, you're exactly right. I think that, I think there's always the debate of what an artist, how do you define that? How you call yourself an artist? And I think at the end of the day, you can call yourself an artist if you woke up today and said, I'm going to present myself to the world. And if you do that honestly and say everything I'm doing is showcasing my art, I mean, I think everybody's an artist, even if they're not doing what we traditionally think is art. Coders and writers and everybody else that does work and truly has passion. That passion, I think, is what drives the creativity, and it drives our humanity. So yeah, expression of self is, I think, the core of whether you want to call yourself an artist or not. I think that is the core of us. And I think this is a great utility to let us keep putting more of ourselves out there. So it's unique, definitely unique. I think that the amazing things that you guys have planned for January and beyond is just going to let people continue to harness themselves and in a way that they can keep putting more content online easy, and harness the true, Web3 ethos that you can do this yourself. So I'm so excited to be a part of this, because you guys have so much cool stuff happening, and you've got so many cool artists that are coming through and using this. And the more we get them to really connect and collaborate, I think that's where this tool wins, right? It wasn't just about, hey, this is something we give to you. It's how this actually allows us all to connect to each other. And if Joyn does it right, then we all win. So it's you guys are doing something right in the space. So kudos.
Thanks, Aaron.
I love how there's the work on the page, but then there's also the images of the artist like in an actual space of things and showing the work in different places. And I think it's great to have a space to showcase that, like put it all in one place. And I think it's like you don't see this, I think, and I think it's much more like a publication that exists on chain that you can also collect the things that are in the publication. That's sort of how I look at it. And then sometimes I look at it as like, someone writing a novel with images that are also included that you can collect, or, sometimes it's like a journey, a process of how you got from A to Z. And I think I'm not sure if I've seen a showcase yet with images of this type of category listed within the collection itself. And I think it's an amazing addition. Maybe there is, maybe there's not, maybe I just haven't seen it, but I love that idea. And having that in there and sort of embedded within the story of what's there, it just gives this sense of perspective of where the artist is coming from. And it's beautiful. It's very, very well done. And I'm all about the dark mode. So.
Yay, dark mode.
Yeah. So Aaron, looking ahead into the future, any alpha of who will join pretty much will become your roster of artists, and you kicked it off with Lindsay. Anybody that we should be keeping our eyes on in your space on Joyn?
Yeah, I think, well, I'm trying to also outreach to other people who are curators and things in the space that we can collaborate on larger showcases, because there's so much amazing art, and the more that we can bring people to the table and showcase them together, it's amazing. So yeah, I think that not only there's some people that have just been putting out a lot of art consistently year after year that I want to showcase, some of which I'll drop some alpha names. Violet Bond is one of my favorites. She's amazing. And I've got a big piece showcase I'm working on to be published in the coming months on Joyn. And then I'm working with Black Box Gallery. We're looking at a small showcase of a handful of pieces that are purely photographic and tie in photography with humanity, and kind of following that theme. And some of it's visual, it's audio visual too, so maybe use some AI blending as well. So there's a lot of interesting things that we're trying to get into that's not just certain people. It's just art in general, and trying to look at different themes and showcase different pieces of art in this really cool medium that Joyn's given us. So stay tuned.
100% stay tuned. And you heard it here, people who are watching us live on X and YouTube. Where can the people find you, Aaron?
Oh, I'm everywhere. You can Google me, and you can find me mainly on X. That's where I live most of the time if I'm not on Joyn. So.
All right, so you heard it here first. We're guaranteed at least another 10 stories, 5 showcases, all coming from Aaron and Vick exclusively on the Joyn platform. But it was an absolute pleasure. And again, Lindsay's work really does pop off the page, and fantastic narrative to kind of read through, and her backstory and all the fantastic work being highlighted. And yeah, we're looking forward to see your roster expanding, and any kind of collaborations that will happen with yourself, and showcasing on Joyn.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, appreciate it, Aaron.
Thanks for joining.
I need to time that a bit better. I need to give like 5 seconds after people saying goodbye. I was like, keep doing that, and I do it with Andrea too, where I cut her off.
It's a little lag. It's fine. But guys, thanks. This was so much fun to join like our little live stream. I'm really used to seeing the audience, so like I can see if they're laughing at my jokes or not. But here I have you. So that's great. But I do have to continue to attend to my other duties. But thanks for having me, and I'm super excited about all the teasers and Easter eggs we talked about today.
100%. Appreciate it, and we'll be sure to bring you back, and continue to converse to the community. Of course, a fantastic first live stream for you. Some good stuff. But yes, get to it. We'll see you in a bit, and say bye to the people.
Bye. And then
Some
number
good stuff
two.
there. And then it's just me and Black.
Yeah.
Again, some dope stuff. I think today we still got a couple more that we want to chat about before we kind of wrap up. We still have a lot of time, so it's gonna be great to kind of chat about it. Again, but just to recap, we see all of you watching us on YouTube and X. We want to say again, thank you for tuning in. If you're watching us in the future, we want you to repost, comment, share this along. A big milestone. Our last stream did close to 1,000 of you viewing and watching us on X and YouTube. So again, thank you. That number continues to grow every time we go live. Again, a special shout out to our partners who have been joining us on the live stream too, as we continue to do these. As the alpha for this, at least for the streams, our next one will be in December. As things kind of wind down, and the hosts and ourselves, we take time to spend time with family, which you should be doing as well. Take a break, take a mental break, relax, spend time with family 100%. Our next one will be in December, so there's only going to be one for November, which is this one. So if you're tuning in now, we appreciate it. We see your comments, and Lume here in the comments saying, thanks for having me, guys. 100%. We appreciate you stopping by, Lume, and talking about Dare to Dream. We just finished talking with Aaron, and excited to see how his roster of artists continues to grow. Like I mentioned to him, I'm excited to see just more stories and showcases. He gave a lot of alpha about what he has kind of in his scope and his line of what he wants to do on Joyn, and a lot of praise. Which again, we don't. This is not scripted. We don't tell people what to say. I think both Lume and Aaron did a fantastic job of speaking to all of you about the platform, about Joyn in general, and I mean, the proof is in the pudding, right? Two fantastic examples of the capabilities of what you kind of create and compose on Joyn. The tagline is coming to full fruition of create, curate, and compose on Joyn. So some fantastic stuff. It's going to be really cool as we have more kind of content that we'll be sharing in a second. But yeah, any thoughts on the previous?
I think it's just great to see how different people utilize it for different things. Like I think the use cases are always varied, and there's no two showcases are created equal. Sort of how I look at it. Like it's very much they're all starting from the same point, but everyone sort of makes it their own, and I find that to be very beautiful. There's something beautiful about it. There's something. It's an art form in itself at this point. It's sort of growing in that way. You can kind of see how people are utilizing it in a way where they're pushing on one thing and pulling on another thing, and that to me is just it makes me excited for the future, because I think that it's something that artists can use to really showcase their work and their thoughts behind it and the narratives behind it and the way they want to kind of like organize it and put their thoughts in. And I think that's just going to create like a really unique experience every time. And unlike other places where work goes, I think it's very cookie cutter, and everyone, it's just the piece of art is different while everything else is the same. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think what ends up being a huge value add with the showcases is that the actual experience of the work itself is also unique. And it's not just the one piece of work. It's the entire experience. It's the narrative. It's the way that it's organized, the dark or light mode, all these little kind of small little tweaks end up actually creating a different experience of the work. And that is what gives the value to art. Like that's what makes it, justifiable, is being able to actually experience it. I think that, quite frankly, I need more art experience in my life rather than just like doom scrolling all day long. I want to sit down and read about it and absorb it. And I think that is really where there's like a huge value add. So I'm just really excited to kind of see the future and how different people use it, because there's already been use cases of things that I wouldn't have thought of. you know, and I love that. I love seeing like new ideas in there already, and it's sort of like a sandbox for that. So I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's something that the team discussed really, really early on when making the first iterations of Composer was that we don't set blockers. There's no limits. There's no really like. I mean, for those who've used Composer and our partners can attest to this, it's pretty much free reigns. The stylistic choices, the amount of text they put in, the art that they put in on chain, off chain, like kind of whatever you want to do is like in your kind of internal requirements of what you want to do. There is no minimum, there is no maximum. So if you want to make a 20-page long kind of showcase, then go for it. We don't stop you from doing that. And I think that's the strength of the platform. There's just many other platforms like here's a box, fill it in with 1,000 characters. That's all you get, buddy. And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Or for other platforms, it's an aesthetic choice. Like this is the way we want it to look for every single page. And then it's just like again, like you mentioned, a cookie cutter duplicate template. Well, no, it goes on, and it's like, okay, sure, I'll spend 10, 15 minutes doom scrolling, and then that'll be it. I don't really do much after this.
Yeah,
That
and I also think just to add to that, I think that in the future, with the way that I know some things going on in the back end, I know that in the future, I think discoverability will be crucial, and Joyn will be able to kind of lift that aspect up more so than other platforms potentially. And I think that it's not just a matter of discovering the artwork, but discovering the artists and who they really are in terms of the way they think and the way they see their work. And that can only be done through sort of longer form content and the ability to share process or ensutos or these different things that are live events or all that kind of stuff, and or even like curations, like full sets of things, and being able to collect art in one place. Like I think I honestly think that it is the wave of the future, and the way that people experience the art will potentially dramatically change. And I think that's what's needed, much more than the GMGN cycle of things. I think it's much more about let's go actually experience the work and learn more about it, and learn about the art itself. So I think it's beautiful, and I love kind of thinking about how that's going to expand in the future. Because you're starting to see little hints of it, with all these little showcases. You're starting to see like the direction of how people are utilizing it to take it to the next level, and that's really exciting for sure.
That's one hell of a blob. So if you're watching this live on X and YouTube, we want you to tag your favorite artist. Let your favorite artists know that Joyn is there available for them to create beautiful content like we're showcasing today here live on the stream. At them, tag them on X, tag them on Instagram. I don't care where you tag them, I'll see it, and make sure you're tagging your favorite artists. Get them on platform, get them on Joyn, and let's create stuff. With that being said, I think it's perfect segue into our kind of next highlight. A little nostalgic, feeling a little nostalgic, a little pop culture nostalgia. I think it's in order.
Yeah.
So we'll see you in a second. Pop culture nostalgia by Laura Lau. Shoot this moment. I think this is live. So if you're watching us live right now on X and YouTube, you're getting a first look at pop culture nostalgia. We're gonna push promo. We're gonna do the whole hype train right after the stream for Laura. And I don't know, but the 90s was my era. This is
Yeah.
when I was born. This is where everything was popping off. This is where everybody says their era is the best era. The 90s kids are, if I'm right, we're the last group of kids before pre-internet. So
Yep.
we got like the last lick of any kind of non connected to the world kind of thing. Very one-to-one communications and just anything pop culture in general. So again, black mode, dark mode reigns supreme. But again, it makes the colors pop, and of course, it makes sense for something like this, especially with the glitter. And you see a carousel image at the top, showcasing
Yeah,
all
that's
the
so cool. Again,
all the
like what I was saying a
pieces.
while ago, you keep seeing people doing things different that you hadn't seen before. And I love that. It's amazing.
And I'm pretty sure this is a GIF. So she was able to seamlessly, well, as I say seamlessly, it hopped, but it had been going for like a minute of just like scrolling through
Yeah.
the pieces of the showcase. So she again a fantastic job of just like immersing you into what you're about to get into, pop culture nostalgia. I mean, iconic Hello Kitty. Who doesn't love a little Sansario in their life? A little Hello Kitty.
Some Tamagotchi.
Sometimes, yeah, the Tamagotchi
Tamagotchi,
Nintendo.
whatever.
Yeah, Tamagotchi. Gotta take care of your digital pets, man. If you didn't feed it the next day, the next couple hours are pretty rough for your little digital pet. And unfortunate series of events that leads to you having to start over the little Tamagotchi from scratch in the egg. A little sad. I remember one my Tamagotchi, I forgot about it in my book bag. I pull it out and it was an egg again, which means that my first Tamagotchi passed. But we won't get into that's not nostalgic. Nostalgic is the actual Tamagotchi itself. Which again, really cool stuff. um Again, Barbie just came out, the movie, really big sensation. It's coming back, which a lot of little girls, love Barbie and the dollhouse and that stuff. So again, iconic now. People my age who were originally paired with Barbies, the big iconic. Um, I lost Black, but I'm sure he'll be back in a second. Uh, McDonald's, of course, the Golden Arches. Again, another fantastic note and nostalgia. I'm sure people still eat McDonald's, but not at the alarming rate everybody was doing in the 90s. Again, fantastic stuff here. And I just want to make sure that we're still good to go. And I'm live. I'm live on X and YouTube, making sure I'm here. So if you're watching, leave a comment for me on YouTube and X and make sure that I'm still good to go here. I'm sure Black will be back. There were probably a little technical issues on his end. But yeah, I think looking ahead at the Super Mario, Toad, who didn't play video games growing up, especially if you're my age and you didn't play video games, might be a little weird, but it's okay. Everybody has their own personal hobbies, but Super Mario, Nintendo, anything cartridge based system. We went from Nintendo to Super Nintendo. Um, I think if the Super Mario movie just came out recently too, so that's really another ode, a really iconic kind of sample here, sampled here in her piece of artwork, the mushroom and the cassette. If you didn't make a mixtape on a cassette, I mean, did you really live your life? Music, again, integral part nowadays. You think about Spotify, you think about iTunes Music, you think about all of these other live music streaming. Before, you just had a cassette with eight eight songs on it. I know I'm probably speaking to the choir. I'm preaching to the choir here, but of course, my younger viewers here who are watching us who probably don't know what a cassette is, or this is now vintage. A cassette player is vintage now, so some cool stuff. Making a mixtape and sharing that tape or making copies of that tape for your friends. Always a big deal. Sharing your music. It was an ode to the music that you love and the cassette player. So and then, oh man, the brick phone, the Nokia. So I think small funny fact here. I think my first cell phone was a brick phone similar to this. And this might throw it back to people who know and remember these kind of things. I had a Sony Ericsson, similar brick kind of style phone, little blue Sony phone. It was really, really dope. The Nokia iconic. I think the brick as they call it, indestructible. You could take your phone and literally slam it against the floor and it wouldn't break. You just like pick it back up and play and then talk to people. And then of course playing the iconic Snake, um which really tough game, really tough game to get a high score on, and impressive if you get really far and make the Snake really, really long. But again, all of these are one-on-ones. The Chuck Taylor's classic 90s style shoe. And then shout out to Laura. Some really dope stuff in her showcase. Sorry. and some really dope stuff. They're all one-on-ones, each individually priced, ready to collect. I will share the link in a second to the people watching. So it's a live stream exclusive. So if you see this link, you're able to jump on and get a piece now. You'll be able to collect a piece from Laura's Pop Culture Nostalgic Showcase. CDs, Star Wars, Darth Vader. And she also included the behind the scenes. So again, she did prompts in Midjourney. Starts the base starts in AI, and then she works her way through the whole process of showing you um, the prompts and showing you the way she stylized the results that she got after prompting in Midjourney. Some dope stuff, and then she even has a Hello Kitty on her desk in this shot of the process. And then she's showing the before and after Photoshop, and showing the layers, how she took it from what it looked like to adding the glitter effect on it. Again, some really dope stuff here. Um, Laura unfortunately couldn't make it to join us today, so a little sad that she wasn't able to join us. But again, fantastic stuff. You're getting a live stream exclusive here. Pop culture and nostalgia. So really cool stuff here, and it's live now. We're gonna be pushing promo for it right after the live stream. And if you're watching this, you get the link early, so you could be able to collect a piece from this showcase. And it's looking real damn good. Really good. Pop culture nostalgia for sure. The 90s, again, vibrant, nostalgic decade that you still people talk about, still people enjoy everything, kind of the results of it. So that's pop culture nostalgia. I had a couple more things we want to chat about before we head out, and I'll be right back. Yeah, so I think Black is having technical difficulties, which is okay. This kind of takes me back to my roots of being a live streamer, talking directly to the camera, talking directly to the community. So if you're watching this live right now here on X and YouTube, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you hit repost. We want to make sure that everybody who is watching, you get to share, and make sure that you get to spread the love and showcase everything that's happening on Joyn. We're having this conversation so that we could just show everything that's happening on platform. Pop Culture Nostalgia by Laura. You can find her on Twitter. Shoot this moment, I think was her Twitter handle, but we'll share that in the comments as well. That she's doing, and I have Black. I'll add him back in a second. Before we get into that, I do want to showcase uh, our picks of the week, our favorite artists that are performing on platform or just creating art in general. I think it would be really dope. So you'll see Black back with me in a second, and we will showcase our pieces that we want to share. So I'll see you in a bit. Welcome back, dear sir. You're muted. He's speaking. I don't think he realized that he's muted. You're muted, sir. He doesn't hear me. It's okay. No worries. On my pick of the week, I think we'll get that right into that right now. It's a piece called Fall In, and I'm going to share my screen right now. Fall In by Swarvex. A really dope piece. This, I believe, was a part of a showcase, a part of open call. I'm sorry, and some really dope stuff. Again, being able to, we pulled the description here and a price at 0.1 ETH. Some really cool stuff here. Which is my pick of the week. Fall In. Shout out to Swervix. Some really cool stuff. And I'll share the link for the piece here in a second. And then I could also share the one that Black wanted to showcase here by Doc T, who again Alpha will be doing a showcase. Will be dropping with us in on Monday. That's alpha here, exclusive for you people watching us on X and YouTube. Doc T had already announced that he's doing something, but confirming we're going live on Monday. So be on the lookout for this. This is the piece that Black wanted to see, the sacrifice. So again, some cool stuff. Again, this is 100% Black's kind of vibe. This is Black style. I think the depiction of the damned, I will say, with like the person in red and little crosses. There's a little, if you look at the details, there's a lot of details in this piece, and you're looking through it. I'm trying to see like the fire in the background. This kind of looks like an ominous figure, hooded ominous figure. And it looks, or maybe a wolf jumping out. I don't know. Some really cool stuff. The details are insane in this. And again, the red cross and the person doing the T pose looks really interesting. Again, not kind of not my vibe. It's for Black. See if I can get him on real quick. He's on stage again.
All right.
Okay, yeah, I hear you
Hopefully,
now.
hopefully this works now. It wouldn't let me use my mic before, unfortunately. But sorry for rolling without it. Yeah, I lost all internet, and unfortunately, can't get it to fix. But hopefully, my phone's working now.
Oh, good, no sweat. So I was saying, in your pick of the week, by Doc T. Again, I said it's just a depiction of the damned in front of a person doing the T pose, and I pointed out like different little details in the piece. But you do better, kind of explaining your pick.
Yeah, I think it's a really striking piece, and I know it's on the front page as well. But Doc T is just like out here killing it, doing a lot of really interesting things. And I believe this piece was for the Joyn showcase with Strange History, and the entire that whole showcase with Strange History is about the Joyn festival, and which is like a time of harvest, and it has some occultic relations there too, but. This piece, I think, in general, just like the way that Doc goes about creating these kind of jittery animations, it's very almost like claymation or like old school kind of animation, whereas like paper animation or something has this kind of feeling to it, where like little areas are modified and slightly tweaked in order to have this like animated type of feeling to it. And I think the process is just really fascinating. Just coming from like the artistic process side is just really fascinating. I think it's interesting to see how Doc is kind of stretching over different subject matter while using similar styles of things, and the way that he approaches his work right now. You can really see this kind of like impasto influence and the way that like the texture works within the piece and that sort of thing. So it's definitely a unique one. I think it's one of Doc's more like darker ones. Even though I know it comes across really, really kind of dark, I think for Doc, it's a very dark piece, much more so than his typical. And yeah, I think it's pretty unique because of that. It's not something that he typically works in, at least this type of subject matter. And because of that, I find it to be pretty striking. It just seems like a 13th century painting that would be maybe on like a mural or like a tapestry type of woven kind of piece that just has this scene that's depicted on it. And yeah, it just has this really kind of old, like pre-Renaissance kind of style to it that just looks really unique, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, before you join, I was trying to point out the different details in the back, because this blue thing here looks like a hooded ominous figure. But again, everyone has a different perspective when they look at a piece like that. But then I looked at it again. It kind of looks like a wolf, like jumping towards like the middle. And then I just realized that this person is boiling in the molten fire lava in front of us. There's a lot of like little details that you kind of look. I know the moving parts will kind of make your eyes gravitate towards that first. If you start looking at the non-moving parts of the piece, it gets really interesting. But again, yeah, Doc T dropping live on Joyn on Monday. He had already announced that we were doing something, but again, I'm here confirming live on the stream that it is going down. It's going on Monday, a brand new showcase from Doc T. So excited to kind of
what I've seen from what he's put together from that sort of in and out of different channels. It looks amazing. I'm really stoked to see it. I know there's like a physical component wrapped up in it too, and I think you're going to see some really amazing work there.
dope. dope. So I haven't gotten a chance to see it. So excited. And then going back before you joined too, I showed my piece Swervex, fall in, beautiful glitch art. You know, just like the colors pop with the person just falling and in the foreground. So I think again our picks for the week, some dope stuff. We'll share links to both, and find a collector to follow the people who created it. Some really cool stuff here for
Yeah,
us today.
that's awesome.
Picks of the
That's
week.
awesome.
I do it full screen real quick. There you go, full screen. Cool stuff. Dope stuff. Cool artists. And that's the power of scrolling through Joyn. Black's is featured on the homepage right up front as the pre-hype leading into Doc T's launch on Monday. And then mine was a part of a showcase open call. So again, being able to just like sift through different mediums, and I think Doxy Showcase would be another good example of a solo artist creating content with Joyn and creating a showcase, and I'm sure it's going to be really really cool. And then the other example of the single piece in the showcase was just like I'm just looking through a showcase open call, looking at submissions, um, and find inspiration, just finding stuff that you probably might have not found looking elsewhere on either on different platforms, social platforms. Again, not always the best to find art as like a bunch of people want to participate and get seen. And again, we use the live stream as an opportunity to showcase our partners, but also if we get a chance to showcase all the artists who are involved in the showcase, involved in the open call. We scroll through some submissions. We're always looking for opportunities to show um, people participating, or just in general, just give exposure to the artists, who put a lot of time and effort into creating the pieces that you see and all these different kind of templates and composer. And again, some fantastic stuff, some fantastic work, and we're excited to continue to see these creations come through the funnel for Joyn. Um, I dare say that it might even open up even further come January, but I won't say too much more than other than that. So if you're listening to us live on X and YouTube, I'm back with my co-host Black. Unfortunately, Andrea is sick, so we wish her well. Show her love in the comments. If you're watching this after the fact, appreciate you as well. And again, I mentioned earlier in the stream, over 1,000 people have been watching our last stream. So again, fantastic. We appreciate that. We appreciate all the views, all the people sharing. Our partners, of course, who have joined us today: Aaron Vick with Artistic Odyssey, and Lindsay Kukoska's art and showcasing there. We had Lume Dare to Dream, another fantastic solo showcase. And as we wrap the show, anything for the people, Black?
I think just gonna focus on the things that are going to elevate the art. I think that's really what it's all about, and it's not just about making something, putting it out, and have somebody collecting it. It's much more about the experience of those things and kind of the value that's added because of the expression and kind of putting it all together in one big package. I think that's really what we're going to see, especially going into the new year, which sounds really crazy to even say right now, but it feels like we're heading there really quickly. I think you're going to see a lot more of that. I think it's going to start kind of really taking a foothold in the space, and trying to really see like how you can present the work in different ways, and really kind of own that. So it's something I'm really excited about, as I was saying earlier before I got cut off. But yeah, I think it's going to be an amazing kind of future here in this space. That's for sure.
100%. Yeah, we're heading towards the end of the year. This is not the last time you'll see us, though. We'll have one more in December, hopefully. The gang will get together one last time for the year, and then heading into the new year, things might change. The live stream might look a little different. We'll spruce it up for the new year. Maybe switch to white instead of keeping it in the dark mode. I know everybody loves dark mode, but we got a opportunity for everything to be showcased, similar to. So we'll spruce things up, but you'll see us in December. We'll be back for our next live stream, and hopefully all will be well. We'll be rejoined by Andrea, and again, we gotta shout out Alex, our partnership lead, who joined us early in the stream, who took the time to kind of converse with our partners about the lovely content that's being created on Joyn with Composer. And again, if you're seeing this in the future, like, comment, retweet this, tag your favorite artists, make sure they know that they could be a part of the hottest Web3 live stream of the year. And I think we'll keep the series going, and we appreciate everybody watching this today. But we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.